The Knit and Natter Club by Gillian Grinham. Chapter 5. Smugglers and a sheep with the green ears. Church cleaning today, Grandma announced at breakfast. Grandad groaned. Not another morning unclogging that hoover. Couldn't stop sneezing for hours after last time. You do exaggerate, George. But no, that hoover's been replaced, so you're off the hook. But you could carry my cleaning bag. Don't worry, Archie, Grandma said, looking at her grandson's face. I'm not asking you to dust the pews. If the tide's out, you and Grandad could walk along the beach to Sheringham and have a snack at the funky mackerel. Once inside the church, Grandma set off to find the hoover. Grandad whispered to Archie, "Let's inspect the new ladder in here." And he turned the handle on the tower door. "If you're thinking of taking Archie up inside the tower, you can think again, George Goodman. Archie's too young to go clambering among the bells." But it was too late. The pair were already halfway up the first ladder. It was tricky negotiating a footway between the bells on the second landing. But with Grandad's help, Archie reached the final ladder. "I've still got the key to the trapdoor, so if you're game, we'll go out and check the view." Archie nodded. It was a bit awkward squeezing along the beam around the bell, but soon he found himself out on top of the church tower. "Wow! You can see so far. Look, there's Cromer Pier, and that side's the hump, and," he said gingerly, turning round, "doesn't the bungalow look small?" "Forgotten how splendid the view is. Used to come up here regularly to clean up the pigeons' mess. Now the church pays a firm to do that horrid job." "Is that why you still got the keys?" "Yes, but don't tell Grandma. Just say I showed you the bells. Come on, time for elevenses. Then I can then tell you a tale of smugglers." Archie wrapped his hands around the mug. The hot chocolate was just the thing after a windy walk along the beach. "So what's all this about smugglers then?" Grandad took a sip of coffee before he spoke. "In the 18th century, the taxes were very high on things like tea, gin, silk and brandy, so most people couldn't afford them." He looked out at the grey North Sea. "Holland's only about 100 miles away, and not many people lived on the bleak Norfolk coast. Ideal place for small boats to bring in smuggled goods." "But wasn't it dangerous across that sea? And wouldn't people notice large barrels and crates being carried through the villages?" Grandad smiled. "Certainly not. They were all in it, you see. Everyone got a cut. No, it was the excise men who were the danger. If caught, the smugglers and their helpers were shot or arrested, and then perhaps sent to the gallows. It was vital a warning was given when the excise men were around." "But how did they manage to do that? I mean, there were no phones and things." "Very cunning, the East Coast folk. At Weybourne, they used the sails of the windmill as a warning. As for West Runton, what's the highest building?" "The church tower, I suppose. So what did they do?" "Well, at night they signalled with lanterns, but during the day they had a special flag. If it was flying, it meant, 'Keep away, danger.'" "Wow, how clever. But hey, what did the vicar say?" Grandad chuckled. "Oh, don't you worry. The secret was safe with him, and I expect he got some tobacco or brandy for himself." As they walked back over the hump, Archie asked, "I've just thought. I saw an old tin trunk in the tower. Do you suppose there's a flag in there? You know, the one used to warn the smugglers?" "Well," Grandad sounded doubtful, "I'm not sure. I've never opened it. We could take a look." The church was empty when they arrived. "I expect Grandma's back home getting lunch. Now, where's that key? Ah, here we go." And once again, they were at the base of the tower. Archie rushed to the tin chest. "I hope it's not locked." And Grandad pulled gently at the lid. "No, here goes." "Oh," said Archie, disappointed, looking at a piece of paper inside. "It says nativity set." "Let's see." Grandad moved aside the note and covering cloth. Of course, Rosie said she kept them in a safe place away from the mice. They nibbled at the donkey when it was kept in the cardboard box. "Grandma knitted all these?" Archie peered amongst the assortment of figures. "There's the angel. That's a king. Oh yes, the donkey looks as if he's been repaired. And look at this." He held up a forlorn white animal with 4 uneven legs. "Is it supposed to be a sheep? It's got green ears." Grandad laughed. "I'd forgotten about that. Your grandma doesn't make many mistakes, but that certainly was one of them. I'm pretty sure there's a story behind him." "Bound to be," said Archie. "I'll take him back to jog her memory." Grandma was cross. "So you did take Archie up the tower?" "Oh, only to look for the smuggler's flag," Archie said. "Smugglers what? Oh, never mind. One of Grandad's stories, I suppose. I just hope you close that tin trunk properly. I don't want the church mice to make a meal of any more figures." "But why's this sheep got green ears, Grandma?" "Let me stir the soup. Now it must be..." She looked at Archie. "About 8 years ago. It was mid-December. I'd nearly finished the nativity scene when there was a storm and we had a power cut. Grandad got out the candles, so I was able to carry on knitting. I was on the last sheep. Thought I'd give it brown ears and search for the wool in the semi-darkness. But when the power came back on, it used green instead. But why didn't you change them?" Grandad answered, "Can't be any other nativity scene with a sheep like that. Makes it special. And it certainly kept a very young man quiet during that Christmas morning." And both grandparents looked at Archie and smiled. "Go and fetch the album, George." During the Christmas service, one of the children became rather restless. He started crying, so his daddy took him over to the crib scene. Suddenly, the toddler stopped crying, and holding one of the figures, he laughed. And then all the congregation and even the vicar joined in. It was hilarious. "I know. It was the sheep with green ears," Archie said. "But who was the little boy?" "Here he is." Grandad held open the photo album. "Don't you recognise him?" "But that's the photo in Mummy and Daddy's bedroom. I always thought I was holding one of my toys, but I don't remember seeing it last time we had a Christmas with you." "No," Grandma shook her head. "He made people laugh too much, so he was hidden at the back of the stable. But next year, when you all come, I'll put him at the front." "Good idea. That'll certainly liven up the sermon. Eh, Archie?" "Really, George," said Grandma, "behave yourself. And you, young man, had better change your T-shirt. It's filthy. By the way," she called out to Archie as he went into his bedroom, "did you get a good view from the top of the tower?"